Hey everybody, I wanted to do a video highlighting my top 10 figures of 2016, and I decided it's probably better just to do a top 10 NECA figures of 2016. Most non-NECA figures I picked up have either been keeping up with lines like Monster Arts, but there hasn't been a lot of releases. And other than that, it's been a lot of backtracking or reissues, things that weren't necessarily new to 2016. And since I also like these lists to be figures that came out that year, maybe a little blurring of the lines at the turn of the year, because it's always kind of awkward what figures came out, between December and January, because NECA always seems to hit us with a ton of stuff in that time period. But I'm already rambling, so we're going to get into that list. At the end, I will do a quick channel update in case you guys are curious, and beyond that, let's kick off the list. Number 10, Aliens 3 Ripley. While maybe not the flashiest figure we've gotten this year from NECA, this is one that I'm just thoroughly impressed with. They gave us a fairly ultimate version of the character, including swappable arms to trade out for different looks, and it's become one of my favorite figures up on my shelf this year. Number 9, Ultimate T-1000. After getting the Terminator Genesis version of the T-1000, I was so excited to finally have the classic version. And, well, which version of the T-1000? I'd kind of say both of them are equal. I haven't gotten a chance to review the Motorcycle Cop version as I just picked it up, but both are great figures with a lot of accessories and some nice detail. Number 8, the Alien vs. Predator Xenomorph. I'm pretty sure this figure debuted this year, though I could be wrong. I say I reviewed it back in February, but there's always a chance that I slacked on reviewing it. So if it is technically a 2015 release, please forgive me. But I really like the new body for this Xenomorph. It seems to be a huge improvement over the old Aliens/Alien body mold. And despite me not liking this version of the Xenomorph as much as I like the classic version, it makes for a very solid figure. Number 7, Gmk Godzilla. Another one that I haven't reviewed, but I'll have to change that soon. I did review the Monster Arts version, and I felt fairly confident that NECA's version couldn't stack up. But NECA did a damn good job of coming pretty close. It's not their best release in their Godzilla line. I still think that belongs to the original 54 Godzilla, but it is a close second and has some nice detail on it and decent articulation. Number 6, Aliens Creature Pack. And I'd written down all the figures I wanted to include on this list in a bit of a hurry about a week ago. And in case anybody's curious about how bad my handwriting is, I was sitting here trying to figure out what the hell Cream Paco meant. Apparently that said Creature Pack. And while it's not technically a individual figure, and one of the main pieces of it is a figure we already have, I love these little diorama pieces. I don't think it's any secret that I love having diorama bits for my action figures. I like being able to put them into environments, and these make a fantastic backdrop to all of my NECA Aliens figures in my Detolf shelf. Number 5, Concrete Jungle Scarface Predator. Sure, this is technically just the AVP body with some new armor, but man did they give it some cool new armor. I love all the details on this figure, and as one of the last NECA figures I picked up in 2016, it was a definite highlight. I love the sheer brutality, the Viking heavy metal look this armor evokes, and of course that just gives it a clear spot here on my list. Number 4, Chucky, or the Good Guy doll. This one is a bit of a bummer because out of everything on this list, it's probably the hardest to get piece with one kind of caveat, but we'll get to that later. As of this recording, the only way you could have gotten this figure, from the manufacturer at least, was to order it with the Scream Factory Chucky Super Jumbo Pack, Deluxe Pack, whatever you want to call it. It comes in some awesome packaging that looks just like the Good Guy Doll's box from the movie. The figure has a pretty nice sculpt, some great clothing detail, and I hate this retro style line, so to make me put this so high up on my top 10 list, you know it had to do something right. It has me very excited for getting real evil Chucky figures down the line from NECA. I'm sure the ones that everybody really wants. Number 3, Ash vs. Evil Dead Hero Ash. This thing is awesome. I was a big fan of both Ash figures from this line, but this one was definitely the more iconic one, the Ash that we all know, love, and hail to as the king. I mean, this figure deserves a spot on this list just for its elbow joint construction, because those things are a work of art, and please NECA, more of that. It is so nice. Number 2, Ultimate Kratos. I'm actually a little torn on where Kratos should fall on this list. I don't feel super strong that he's really the number 2, so it's a lot of like runners up leading up to my top figure. Since this figure definitely did have a flaw or two to it. But as far as a figure that I picked up and constantly messed around with, posed, switched out accessories and weapons with, this was probably the figure I did that most with in 2016. One of my first NECA figures ever was the old God of War-Kratos, and to see the vast improvement that went into making this figure was just a thing of beauty. Number 1, Newt. I said that Chucky was probably the hardest figure to get from this list. Newt kind of blurs that line because the version I own is the San Diego Comic-Con version. But just recently, the new 2-pack with Newt and Ripley have started to show up in stores. So the figure itself is easy enough to get. I do like the extra accessories that came with the Comic-Con version, her little trophy. I don't believe the new one comes with the Casey doll head, which is something I feel is iconic to the character and needs to be there. So I am happy I got the true Comic-Con exclusive version of Newt. But this 2-pack does mean that anybody can get their hands on this figure. So those are my top 10 NECA figures of 2016. Let me know in the comments below if you agree or disagree. If there's something you would have included that I didn't, or something that you just think sucked and I thought was awesome. As for a channel update, as I stated a few months back in another video I did, I've kind of slowed down. I think that's pretty obvious in terms of reviewing things. I still try to review the NECA stuff as it comes out. Unfortunately, I've been wanting to do the new NECA Kenner Aliens wave, and I have those figures, but my Mantis arrived broken, so I'm trying to get a replacement for it before I start shooting those videos, and hopefully that'll happen soon enough. Beyond that, I do have plans to kind of renew things and review more figures, and maybe even go back to some of the older stuff, though I've noticed views aren't as high with older figures, specifically when I do like Mezco figures or something like that. So it doesn't seem like it's a direction that you guys want to watch for the most part. Really, if I see big views, it's for Aliens, Predator, or Godzilla. So that's what I'm going to focus on reviewing. And outside of the whole collecting thing, this is kind of the time of year now that robot events are starting to crank back up. Granted, they never really cranked down. I just skipped a couple in December because I didn't have time to go to them. But that means I am going to be busy outside of this channel, building and getting other stuff done. But I am hoping to dedicate some time. We are so close right now to 20,000 subscribers, which is pretty awesome. I mean, it's, you know, I'd like to think that's no small feat. I mean, some people post a video of a farting rabbit and they get 20 million subscribers in like a week. But yeah, I'd like to keep growing the channel, and I want to try some new things with the new year to hopefully get some more views and some more subscribers and keep things going the way I want them to. So I'm going to start working on that, and I'll see you in the next video.